Hello and welcome to Flory Models Friday Roundup Show. Here we are with you on the 9th of October 2020 after a very busy week this week again. Lots of new things coming out, a couple of new products that we've got coming down the line, a couple of kit reviews, and obviously we pushed on and we completed the Hellcat as we made our way through. Anyway, it all started, as you can see, on Monday with part 8. The actual Hellcat. Now this was obviously the one a lot of people were waiting for. This is where the decals disintegrated on me, as you can see here. You can see some of the thumbnails down in here as well. Again, this is just one of those ones where sometimes you just have to bite the bullet that it's gone wrong, it hasn't worked. And yes, boy, did it not work in style. As you can see down in here, basically these are the Edard's new decals that disintegrated on me. Now I spoke about this a lot this week in quite a few of the shows with them and things like that. And it came up, to be honest with you, last night as well. I have to say, I think it's one of those things that is it's sort of born out of frustration, because you're working on your model, you work really hard with it, it's going along absolutely fantastically, you think you know what you're doing, and then something bites you. And this was just one of those classic examples. And to be honest, it was my ignorance of not knowing about the new decals. I didn't know anything about them. And I know a lot of people would say, surely Phil, you're in the industry, you'd know. Can't know it all, know everything. It's a little bit of knowledge over a very vast area. Okay, so obviously when you get specific manufacturers make a change and then don't tell you in the instructions, that's really just my bugbear with it. To be honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with the decals, and I know there's loads of stuff that's online at the moment, and it does tend to be with this hobby that sort of knee-jerk reaction, don't like change. Sometimes change is good, and you sort of embrace it, and we've seen fantastic strides with the hobby over the last few years, you know, of new things coming down the line, getting used to new techniques, different types of glues, different ways of painting, things like that. And to be honest, the decals, whilst very frustrating because I didn't know, I think actually are a good thing. It does give you the opportunity as a modeler to decide how you want to use them. And on the front of this one, to be honest with you, I used them normally. I didn't try and remove the carrier film. The other ones I did once I knew. Okay, but as we know, and as you can see obviously down here as well, what happened with me was that it literally, as I was doing my weathering, so we were doing fine, no problem at all, I put a little bit of enamel thinners near it, which then it softens and starts to break up the carrier film, which is a good thing, but not when you know it's not there. So I just gave it a nice coat of enamel thinners, and then lo and behold, stuck my finger in it and it just ripped it to pieces. Then we had trouble getting it off, and then obviously it proved my fact that the carrier film is on the top, not on the bottom. But I know there's a lot of people out there saying, I'm never going to buy Edard kits again because their decals are useless and stuff like that. And I know there is still a little bit of thing out there about certainly REF with the Spitfire kit, that the markings are a little bit mottled for the tail coats, things like that. And it's not a solid colour. And again, it may be that Edard are trying to weather them a little bit to give, you know, a little bit of head start to the modeler. I'm not too sure. But having used them on the Hellcat now, and I've had to play with some others as well, yeah, you get used to it, it's good. The big thing is, and my only little piece of advice I can give you is, it's all about how those decals go down. So if they go onto a nice sort of gloss finish and it's got a really good adhesion, they are absolutely beautiful. The trouble you get though, and I think a lot of people have had, is this thing where it peels up, is where it hasn't got good adhesion onto the surface. So that may be because it's got a little bit of texture, as in it's more of a satin finish or a flat finish. So technically, if you think of it like the layer effect, it just hasn't got proper grip. It's a bit like sellotape laying on the surface. It hasn't got a proper grip right the way over. So you need to make sure it's got good adhesion as they go down. Now, if that means you have to gloss coat everything before putting the decals on, so be it. One of the biggest areas, and I think one of the ones where I've seen other people go wrong as well, is obviously panel lines. Notoriously, you know, getting them to stick into panel lines can be a little bit difficult. But the trouble you've got when you're trying to peel off the top coat, that, you know, you get to that panel line and it hasn't adhered properly, it then peels it and it goes through. Only a little bit of advice I can give about doing it, I would say literally just give it a little brush full. Once it's gone down, give it sort of 24, 48 hours to totally go off the decals. Excuse me, that's the printer. Okay, but literally let it do its bit and then come along with a little bit of enamel thinners. Just give it a small little coat over it. Give it a few minutes to do its bit, you know, on there, and then come along with a cotton bud or a Q-tip, depending where you are in the world. Soak that in a little bit of enamel thinners as well, and then just gently rub. And when I say gently, don't rush it. You know, this is that thing we often say about with, you know, having a little bit of patience, taking your time with it, just gently rubbing right the way through, and then it should come away. And to be honest, it came off of the actual walkways and all the other areas that had it, no problem at all, using that technique, and it was good to go. So one of those things, if you know about it, and you know, as you say, you're sort of forewarned, you'll be a little bit more delicate with it and tread a little bit more lightly, shall we say, and that's what's happened. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just things that you need to learn about it and you need to know. And again, it would be really nice, Edard, looking at you, perhaps just put in a slip of paper explaining that you have got the new dual use decals, I call them. I don't know what their official name is, but I call them dual use, i.e. you can use them just like a standard transfer, you know, like a water slide transfer, or you can actually use it like a decal, okay, and actually then just place it on there, so whichever way you want to know. But again, if you know about it, it's fine. And the trouble that we've got is that some of the decals in the kits, normally the markings, things like that, actually are this new type, but the old one, the stencil data, they are the old ones. And you know, I can see down in here, I've showed them before, you've seen this a million times, but again, the blue ones down in here from 2012, old type. The lighter colour here, 2020 decals, obviously they're the new type. So I now know, but I didn't know at the time, and that was the thing with it. But anyway, I digress from it. Anyway, we basically made our way on with this particular build. As you can see down below, some of the highlights from the shots there. So we talk about painting the wheels, we get those sorted. We then end up repainting the areas that have been damaged, because obviously we had to sand off the decals to get rid of them, because it's not a decal, they're painted on by the time the carrier film goes. Okay, so we did that. Then we did the exhaust work. So a little bit of exhaust work, staining on this one, going right the way through. And then we did a little bit of post shading around with it, just to break up some of the textures areas and stuff like that as we made our way through with it. And that basically completed off part 8 of that one down on there. On Tuesday, we had the Tuesday show, and obviously, as you might imagine, we did speak quite a bit about this said problem we were talking about down on there. But we did have some other great questions as well. If you've never seen it before, Tuesday is a chance for the membership to ask me directly about some of the problems they've been having and whatever advice. Basically, it's a Q&A show directly to me. So that was on there. So anyway, we were looking at all things sort of airbrushing. We're talking about, obviously, needle lock, as I call it, where the needle jams in your airbrush, how to fix that and stop that coming back from happening again. We were looking at rescribing blades down in there, and obviously we were looking at some of the search techniques and how to get the best out of the forum as well on that particular show. And again, we did cover about these decals and how they were driving me mad on there just like that. So that was on the actual Tuesday show. Wednesday show is me and Matt. Fun and laughter and giggles as always, and I must admit we thought it would be going about half an hour. Turns out we're going for an hour, and by the time I'd edited off the odd little bit out of it, still it's a 50-minute show. So if you want to see that one, that's me and Matt, that's up there now. And obviously we were talking all things kit related in general. To be honest, I can't even remember what we're on about. We waffle on, we answer your questions about kits, and again, this is more designed for you know, your kits rather than modelling itself. So there's not many tools on things like that, but we talk about tools and equipment and the actual kits themselves rather than modelling related. So if you're more of a kit collector and things like that, then definitely the show for you. But me and Matt, obviously we are co-owners of the PM Models store. It's not currently open to the public. We've been asked a little bit. For the foreseeable future, it is shut to the public. Obviously online, the store is open and we've got everything online. We've got hundreds and hundreds of lines of products, and obviously with paints and all the tools and your sundries you could want as well. That is all available on the PM store. But at the moment, it's just because obviously the risk with COVID and, you know, let's face it, things are getting worse again, that we've actually taken the decision to close it till Christmas, and then we'll take a view in the new year to see how we're looking about getting it open. On the upside though, things are still moving ahead in there, because obviously we've had the new studio, which is an indoor area, completely replastered. We're going to have the electricians come in, we'll get the painters, decorators and all the rest of it. So hopefully next year we can get back and doing the actual training courses. So we'll be doing ones on weathering, ones on airbrushing, general building, things like that. There'll be 1 and 2 day courses. We'd love to get them going, but obviously at the moment, the way with COVID is in the world, that isn't going to happen anytime soon. But things are still moving afoot to get it all set up, and we'll be working along with you very, very soon with that one. So anyway, that was Wednesday. So anyway, lots of things on there. Also, we talk about, because there's a link in here to purchase, is these bottles. Okay, now these bottles are these ones. I've been using them now for a long time. It's our standard Flory Models wash bottle. which is one for the watch. It's HDPE, which means it's basically impervious to everything. Even alien blood will not go through these bottles, and the caps are as well, more importantly, because when testing we found out the caps are melting, so that's why there was a delay, because we needed an HDPE cap to go along with the bottle. So like in here, this is 2-pack lacquer thinners, and it's fine in there, no problem at all. It has got an open and shut dropper top on the top, so you can just put in just a little bit, and you can squeeze these bottles. They are squeezy as well if you want to flood a load out, but normally just pouring it works very, very well. It does come in a pack of 4. They are £5. I have had to put the postage up just a little bit because they cost us, as I said, raw mail. I have no idea what's going on with postage. It is my bugbear, but there's nothing we can do about it. It cost me £4.70 in postage to send them out, let alone the packaging material and the inlays and all the rest of it that goes in with it. So anyway, £5, I think it's a bit of a bargain, okay, for those ones. So you can get those pack of 4. I am literally, as we're filming this today, we're a little bit earlier than normal. Here we are just coming up at 11 o'clock. I'm expecting between 11:30 and 12:30 the delivery for more of these tops, because unfortunately we sold all, basically, well, it was 1,000 bottles, went out within 48 hours. It was done and gone and dusted. So, you know, we've got more coming in. They'll be in today. So hopefully by the time you watch this video, they'll be back up on the site and you can purchase those if you want. They're just a great little thing. Don't forget, it doesn't have to be, you put what you like. I've got lacquer thinners in mine. I've got them behind here. They've got wash in them, so forth and so on. So they're general use bottles just like that. Other thing as well, just because we're on shameless plug time, our sanding sticks. Now these are our standard sanding sticks, just like this, you know, they're the one that we all use. It's an 18mm sanding stick. Okay, before it came in a pack of 3, so literally in there you would have obviously a fine, a medium and a coarse one. They're dual-sided as well, so they've got different courses on each side, okay, with those. But a lot of you have been asking, and to be honest, we used to sell them a few years ago, so they're back by popular demand, a 3-pack of each one. So we've got a 3-pack now of coarse, we've got a 3-pack of the medium, and we've got a 3-pack of the fine. Okay, instead of having one of each grit in there, they are now available in just coarse, medium and fine grits, and do it like that. The normal one with one of each grit is still available as a 3-pack as well. So for your numbers for that one, it's FMS 005 is the multi-pack with one of each in each pack, or you can have it as FMS 16, FMS 17 and FMS 18 respectively if you want to have the coarse, medium and the fine ones. It goes along because the skinny sticks are FMS 6, 7 and 8, as in 16, 17 and 18 if you want the full one as well, just like that. And again, they're available on the site. I put them up last week. I did even mention it, but they are there now, and I know a few of you have bought them this week. So if you want to get those ones, they are available on there just like that. Pigments, to be honest with you, I'm hoping they'll be back in stock on Monday. I know I'm out of a few of those, but they hopefully, I'm waiting for tubs. So when the tubs come in, got the pigment here, we get them loaded up, bottled up, and we're ready to go. So they'll be with you on Monday. Anyway, moving along. Last night, obviously, we had the live show. We had a few technical difficulties, not with me for once, but unfortunately, Matt's internet's really, really bad in his local area at the moment. So he's back to being 8-bit Matt. So we decided that he would just hang around in the wings. And obviously, with me, I had, as you can see, Andy, Nathan, and John on last night. Usual thing. It's about 2 hours long. It's a laugh, or I try and do it as a laugh. I enjoy doing the shows. I find them really, really entertaining, and I have a little bit of a giggle on there as well, as you might know, with the guys. And we talk all things modelling. So usual thing, it's got all, some of your great builds. We like to showcase the members' builds on the shows, and then obviously we have a look around at answering a lot of your questions that you post to the team throughout the week. We answer those on that show as well. So if you want to get that as a bit of a recap, you can go back and have a look at that one. Also, down below here, as you can see, we've actually got this great kit, which is a Takom Rebox. Okay, so it's actually the Hobby 2000. It was originally done by Takom. So this is the ZSU 57-2. Beautiful markings. You get extra markings than you normally had with the Takom one. So there's Polish markings in there and things like that as well. So you've got all the markings that are available as a Takom kit, plus a few extras as well. Again, don't be put off by the box art. It's actually a very, very nicely detailed kit. It's got a full detailed turret up here. It's got these twin 57mm cannons up on here. You've got all the shells for it. You've got all the parts. Beautiful detail up in here. Okay, and then obviously the track, pretty much is one of the easiest ones out there. It's almost a workable track. It will click together and go through. It's not robust, you can pull it apart, but you can get it together and then glue it. It's a nice straightforward one on that one. And actually, after I've reviewed it, bearing in mind I've never given this kit, to be honest, a second look, but after I reviewed it, I want to build it because it's got a great gun system in there, fully detailed gun, all that interior is in there. Like we said before, because it's an open top tank, you don't have to worry about how am I going to display it so you can see all that beautiful work in there, because you can see it, which is the really nice thing with that one on there. Also, reviews today, we've got this little gem. Apologies, I was supposed to do it literally ages ago, but I didn't get around to actually getting editing done or anything else like that on that one. But I finished it, I'm editing it off today, so we got the review. And this is the 132nd BF 108. Okay, so that's a great aircraft done by Edard. It's their weekend edition as well, so it's not going to break the bank. And you've got everything you could want just straight out of the box, very much like we did with the Hellcat. Moving on with that one. And that brings us right up to now. And that is the point. The Hellcat has basically been finished off. Now you're up to part 10, which is obviously going to make its way through on this one, and it's going to finish off with the weathering, all the various parts going into it, redecaling it, to be honest, and all the things that go along with this one to get this one finished up. The final part of it will be up on Monday. Again, I didn't want to do it too tight because in the last part we talk about doing the strapping for the fuel tank, we do the aerial on the top and a few other little details just to finish it off, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time explaining that one. So instead of editing it down, I've kept it at full length. So you've got part 9 is up with you right now, and then obviously you've got part 10 that'll be up with you on Monday, which will complete off this fantastic build. And like I said before, if it hadn't have been for the pesky decal problem, it would have been a beautiful build right the way through. Thoroughly enjoyed. It's been a lot of fun with that one. So anyway, time to move on. So next up for me, next week, got a bit of armour. Then we're going back sci-fi as well, because we're getting that time of the year where I always do a little bit of sci-fi with the run to Christmas as we make our way through on that one. And that is this week. As I say, a very busy week. As I say, I've got a lot of things coming up next week. We've got some promotional items are finally starting to work our way through, so I'll be showcasing those with you next week. We've got the mugs. A lot of you have been asking about the Flory Models mug for the 2021. I've got the prototypes of those coming in, should be with me Monday or Tuesday. So again, I'll show you guys if we're all happy, we'll get them signed off and we'll get them ordered as well. So they'll be ready next month for putting in for orders for those ones, and a few other little exciting little gems we've got coming along as always. So it's been very busy time getting used to it, and then again we're going to start preparing for our special Telford weekend. So that's a special line of shows. We're going to be live with you, 3 live shows a day, Saturday and Sunday, of what would have been the actual Telford IPMS Nationals for the UK. So to keep you entertained and going for that one, we're going to be doing that one. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing some discount prices, show prices, all the usual things. So if you can't make it, it'll be great to have you along for that particular one as well. Anyway, as always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery. So until Monday, happy modelling. Take care.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted.